The galaxy believed it understood every danger that existed in the cold darkness between stars. The Galactic Empire had mapped thousands of systems, crushed dozens of rebellions, and defeated every creature that dared to resist. Their fleets were fast, their weapons powerful, and their confidence absolute. But the Empire had never met anything like the creature that arrived from a small blue planet called Earth. It began with a strange signal detected on the edge of Imperial territory. The message was short, full of static, and carried a strange rumbling sound that confused their translators. At first, the Empire thought it was a faulty transmission. But when a scouting ship was sent to investigate, the crew saw something they could not understand. A small escape pod floated silently in the dark. No engines, no heat signature, no signs of life. Yet the metal looked scratched, torn, and chewed from the inside, as if something had forced its way out. The scouting crew grew uneasy. Their captain ordered them to stay alert, but the young officers laughed. They believed no creature from a primitive planet could worry the Empire. Earth was known only as a world full of strange animals and unpredictable humans, but humans were not the ones drifting in that pod. Whatever escaped was smaller, faster, and something the Empire had never studied. When the scouting ship brought the pod aboard, all scans showed nothing inside. The main chamber looked empty. The crew relaxed, thinking the pod had been damaged long ago. But then one officer noticed tiny claw marks on the floor. Not random scratches, these were patterns. They looked like a creature had walked in circles, waiting. Before the officers could report it, something moved behind the pipes near the ceiling. It was quiet, fast, and almost impossible to see. The crew heard only a soft growl, low and sharp like a warning. Their scanners detected sudden motion, but the machine could not identify the life form. Energy readings jumped all over the screen. Something was inside the ship with them. The captain demanded a full lockdown, but it was already too late. An armored technician screamed as a small, furious creature launched itself onto his shoulder. The crew panicked, firing stun shots, but the creature moved like lightning. It looked like a honey badger, only larger, stronger, and wearing a strange outer layer that looked half like fur and half like organic armor. Its eyes were sharp and fearless. It did not run from danger. It charged at it. Security teams rushed into the room, but the creature attacked with wild speed. It clawed through metal, bit through armor, and showed no fear at all. The creature did not flee or hide. It defended the entire room as if claiming it for itself. The crew could not believe such a small thing could create so much destruction. It attacked with the fury of a predator and the intelligence of a trained soldier. The Empire had no idea that Earth called this creature the space honey badger, a result of human experiments mixed with natural toughness and survival instinct. Humans had created it for exploration missions, deep space research, and surviving harsh environments. But even humans did not fully understand how powerful the creature had become. It could survive radiation, extreme cold, and vacuum pressure for short periods. It could chew through reinforced steel. It feared nothing, not even death. The scouting ship tried to send a warning message back to the Empire, but the creature tore through the communication panel before it could be sent. It acted with purpose, as if it knew what the Empire was capable of and wanted to delay them. The crew realized this was not an animal acting on instinct. This was a creature defending itself with strategy. The captain ordered evacuation of the ship. Panic spread as alarms rang across every deck. The creature moved freely through the halls, ignoring sealed doors and barriers. It smashed through vents, wires, and control panels, causing the ship's power to fail deck by deck. The crew fled in escape pods, shouting over each other about the beast that had claimed their ship. They begged command to send help, describing the creature as unstoppable. The Empire listened but did not believe them. They thought the officers were exaggerating. One creature from Earth could not threaten a full starship. But then the signal from the scouting ship went dark. All readings disappeared. When a second Imperial vessel arrived, they found the scouting ship drifting without power, its hull scratched, dented, and torn open in several places. And the creature was gone. The Empire declared it a minor incident. A strange animal, nothing more. But they did not know the creature had already reached one of their nearby outposts. It traveled using debris, hiding in cargo, moving with patience and instinct. And by the time the Empire realized it had spread, 3 outposts reported attacks. Not destroyed, occupied. The creature explored each new place like territory to conquer, and no soldier could remove it. Scientists and generals met urgently, trying to understand how a single creature from Earth could outsmart an entire sector of Imperial forces. They studied scans and recordings, but every answer led to new questions. How intelligent was it? How strong? How dangerous? And more importantly, was it alone or were more creatures like it hidden somewhere? While the Empire argued, the creature continued its silent mission. Every time they tried to trap it, it broke free. Every time they attacked, it attacked back harder. Soldiers feared going near dark corridors where the creature might be waiting. Officers began whispering that Earth must have created this monster on purpose. Deep in the Empire's command center, a high-ranking general stared at the reports with growing dread. She understood something the others ignored. If humans had built something like this, then they were far more advanced, far more dangerous, and far more unpredictable than the Empire had believed. A silent warning began spreading through the ranks. Do not anger Earth. Do not provoke humans, and above all, do not underestimate anything that comes from their world. But the Empire was too proud to listen. They prepared for war, believing they could easily crush whatever threat Earth posed. They did not yet understand the truth. The space honey badger was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire soon realized that one creature causing trouble in isolated outposts was not just an inconvenience. It was a growing problem that made their commanders look foolish. Reports came in from soldiers who looked terrified, speaking quickly, stumbling over their words as they described how the creature moved through the shadows, destroyed sealed doors, and laughed. Yes, laughed, at every attempt to stop it. The Empire's pride began to crumble as more incidents appeared on the map like red warnings spreading across a star chart. Inside an Imperial command ship, Admiral Vorin listened with disbelief as his officers explained their failed operations. He had fought wars and crushed rebellions, but he had never heard senior commanders describe a creature so small yet so dangerous. They tried explaining how it tore through armor, bit through energy shields, and refused to die even when shot with high-power rifles. Vorin pressed his fingertips together, thinking, he could not show fear. The Empire survived through strength, and he believed fear only encouraged weakness. But then the recordings played on the large hollow screen. The crew watched in silence as a tiny armored shape leaped from a vent, attacked soldiers with impossible speed, and vanished before they could understand what hit them. The creature looked wild, fearless, and intelligent. Some officers shifted uncomfortably, others whispered among themselves. But the Admiral remained silent, studying every movement, every choice the creature made. It didn't act like a mindless beast. It acted like a soldier with a mission. The Empire decided to use a stronger tactic. Instead of chasing the creature, they would trap it. They chose Outpost Theta, a massive research center equipped with energy shields, containment fields, and hundreds of soldiers. The plan was simple: lure the creature into the outpost, seal it inside, and study it until they understood what they were facing. To lure it, they placed high-energy crystals in the ventilation system. The creature had shown interest in strange energy sources before, often taking them apart or eating them for reasons nobody understood. Soldiers waited behind armored barriers, ready with nets, cages, and stun weapons normally used to subdue large alien predators. They prepared the rooms carefully, sealing off exits, adding extra guards, and layering traps. Hours passed. Then the sensors beeped. Something small had entered the ventilation system. The energy detectors spiked, and soldiers raised their weapons. The creature was coming. A technician whispered, asking if the soldiers were ready. No one answered him. A loud crash echoed through the chamber. A vent cover flew off and clattered across the floor. Soldiers fired stun rounds instantly, but they hit only shadows. Something darted across the ceiling. A soft growl came from the corner. The creature wasn't attacking yet. It was studying them. A soldier panicked and fired wildly. The creature leaped toward the wall, climbed sideways, and landed on top of a crate like gravity didn't matter. Its eyes glowed faintly as it stared at the cage meant for it. The soldiers froze. The creature wasn't just fast or strong, it was thinking. Then it charged. Chaos filled the room. Soldiers shouted as the creature ripped through nets, broke metal poles, and destroyed force field generators with pure strength. One soldier screamed that the creature had learned their plan by watching them. Another shouted for backup, but the doors failed as power flickered through the base. The creature tore through every trap with almost joyful fury, as if each new barrier only made it more determined. The Empire had underestimated Earth again. A small research drone floated into the room, recording everything. The creature looked up, locked eyes with the camera, and let out a sharp hiss. Then it jumped, tore the drone apart, and threw the pieces like confetti. The Empire's scientists gasped as the screen went black. They had wanted to study the creature, but the creature had studied them instead. The moment Outpost Theta went quiet, Admiral Vorin knew the situation had changed. They were not fighting a wild animal. They were fighting something engineered to survive anything. Something created by humans who clearly understood survival far better than the Empire expected. Vorin sent out a sector-wide alert. He ordered all ships to search for the creature and capture it alive, believing it held valuable information. But many soldiers avoided certain corridors and abandoned isolated bases, refusing to be anywhere near the creature. Stories spread quickly, stories of an unstoppable beast that walked through laser fire, stories of soldiers crying for help, stories of empty halls where only claw marks remained. The Empire tried to hide these failures, but rumors spread like wildfire in the ranks. Some soldiers claimed the creature could smell fear. Others believed it could learn by watching them. Some even whispered that humans were sending more creatures like it. Fear weakened morale, and fear made people think about war in ways the Empire didn't like. Meanwhile, the creature continued its journey across Imperial space, driven by instincts even humans did not completely understand. It climbed inside supply ships, hid in maintenance tunnels, and ignored anything that didn't matter. It avoided unnecessary fighting, only attacking when cornered or provoked. But each time the Empire set a trap, the creature learned. Each new weapon they used against it, the creature figured out how to overcome. News finally reached Earth, but only part of the truth. A faint signal from the early scouting ship had managed to escape before the creature destroyed the transmitter. Human commanders examined the message carefully. They recognized the damaged pod. They recognized the signs of forced escape. And they recognized the creature. They knew exactly what had happened. One of their experimental honey badgers had escaped during a deep space test mission. It wasn't supposed to reach Imperial territory. It wasn't supposed to be alone. But humans also knew something the Empire did not. Their creatures held a special bond with Earth and its people. If it felt threatened, it would defend itself without hesitation. And if someone attacked it, humans took that personally. Earth sent a small diplomatic ship to the nearest Empire border. They hoped to retrieve the creature peacefully, explain the situation, and avoid unnecessary conflict. But the Empire did not trust them. They believed humans were hiding something. They believed Earth had sent the creature as a weapon. Admiral Vorin rejected every peaceful message Earth sent. He prepared his fleet for confrontation. He believed himself strong enough to handle whatever Earth sent next. He did not realize that humans were not coming with threats or warnings. They were coming for their creature, and they would not leave without it. The diplomatic ship from Earth approached the Empire's border quietly, without weapons raised, without any sign of hostility. It carried only a small crew, a few envoys, and a single message of peace. The ship's captain, a calm and disciplined woman named Mara Keller, understood the danger of entering Imperial space. She knew misunderstandings could spark wars. She also knew the Empire had already misjudged the creature they were now calling the Earth Fury Beast. Captain Mara stood at the bridge window, watching the stars drift past like tiny sparks over a dark ocean. She felt uneasy. Humans had a habit of creating things that surprised the galaxy, but the space honey badger had surpassed even their expectations. It was designed to survive, explore, and defend. But no one had predicted it would find itself deep inside the Empire, alone. When Mara attempted to open communications with the Empire, the response was harsh and immediate. Imperial Command demanded she explain why Earth had sent a weapon into their territory without permission. Mara explained again and again that the creature was not a weapon. It was a research life form that escaped by accident. But the Empire refused to believe her. They accused Earth of hiding their true motives. They accused her of playing games. The Empire did not understand something important. Humans did not play games when one of their own creations was in danger. They protected their people, their animals, their machines, and anything bearing their name. Humans had crossed galaxies for far less. Meanwhile, far from the border, the creature was still moving through Imperial space. It had reached one of the Empire's largest transport stations. Soldiers patrolled the halls nervously, expecting the creature to attack at any moment. But the space honey badger did not strike immediately. It observed, sniffed the air, and listened to the heavy footsteps echoing through metal corridors. It understood danger. It understood fear. And it understood that the Empire was not a place where it could rest. The creature found a power junction and began tearing through wires, chewing through metal like it was nothing. Energy sparks lit the room. The station's lights flickered, alarms blared, and soldiers ran toward the noise. When they entered the room, they were too late. The creature was gone again, moving through the shadows as easily as air. Only the busted power core and deep claw marks remained. Back at Imperial Command, Admiral Vorin reviewed the growing pile of reports with a growing storm inside his mind. The creature was moving unpredictably, attacking only when needed, disappearing when outnumbered, and destroying parts of their infrastructure that delayed the Empire each day. Vorin's frustration grew. The Empire had faced rebels, pirates, alien beasts, and even ancient machines, but never had a single life form defied them this completely. He gathered his council. Officers stood in silence as Vorin paced the room, hands behind his back, trying to control his anger. He asked why they still had not captured the creature. He asked why their traps failed, why their soldiers panicked, and why their scientists could not even explain what the creature was. No one had answers. One scientist cleared her throat and nervously explained what little they had learned. The creature possessed unnatural durability. Its muscle density was far greater than expected. Its bones were reinforced. It could survive low oxygen, high pressure, and extreme temperatures. Its behavior showed planning ability and strong memory. Worst of all, it could adapt quickly to any attack used against it. When the scientist finished, the room went silent. Admiral Vorin finally understood something he had ignored for too long. If humans had built such a creature, then the humans themselves were far more dangerous. If Earth could create one unstoppable creature, how many more could they create? This thought frightened him, but Vorin refused to show fear. He declared that the Empire would escalate. They would not treat the creature as a minor threat. They would use military force. They would crush whatever Earth sent, and they would capture the creature at any cost. His officers saluted, though many felt doubt in their hearts. They had seen what the creature could do. They were not sure any force could stop it. Back at Earth's diplomatic ship, Captain Mara received the Empire's latest response. They refused peace. They demanded humans surrender their technology and admit guilt. Mara sighed quietly. Earth wanted no war. But it was becoming clear that the Empire did not understand humans at all. They thought aggression made them strong. They thought threats made them respected. They thought fear made others obey. Humans were the opposite. The more the Empire threatened them, the more humans felt responsible to stand firm. They defended even small things with incredible force. And the space honey badger was not small to them. It was theirs, and no Empire would take it. Mara sent one last message to the Empire, offering peaceful retrieval of the creature and cooperation. The Empire ignored her. They prepared for battle, convinced they had the advantage. Mara looked at her crew, seeing their worried faces. She told them Earth never attacked first, but Earth always finished the fight if someone else started it. The Empire deployed 3 warships to intercept Earth's small diplomatic vessel. They believed this show of force would intimidate Mara into retreat. The diplomatic ship was tiny compared to the colossal Imperial cruisers, which glowed with weapon arrays and armored hulls. But Mara did not turn back. She followed a straight course into the heart of the Empire's territory. As the ships closed in, tension filled every screen, every sensor, every voice on the comms. Even the Empire felt a strange unease. Why wasn't Earth afraid? Why didn't they run? While both sides faced each other in deep space, the space honey badger crawled into a supply tube inside an Imperial station. Its ears twitched. Its armored back shifted. It sensed something familiar. Something human. It did not understand communication, but it understood instinct. Humans were coming. Across the stars, 2 forces prepared for conflict. One side believed it was in full control. The other side came only to protect something small but important. And the tiny creature that started everything was still waiting in the shadows, unaware that it had already changed the future of 2 worlds forever. The 3 Imperial warships moved into formation, surrounding the small Earth diplomatic vessel like wolves preparing to corner a single prey. Their lights glowed red, their engines hummed with rising power, and their weapon systems began charging. Inside the lead ship, Admiral Vorin watched the Earth vessel on his command screen. It looked small, harmless, and quiet. But somehow Vorin felt uneasy. He wondered why a simple diplomatic ship showed no fear of 3 war cruisers. On the Earth ship's bridge, Captain Mara stood firmly, hands clasped behind her back. Her crew waited for orders, but she stayed calm. She knew her ship was no match for the Empire in raw power. But she also knew humans had many ways of surviving situations that looked impossible. Diplomacy was only the first method, and if diplomacy failed, humans used everything else at their disposal, from clever tactics to pure stubbornness. The Imperial warship sent another message demanding Mara surrender her mission and turn back immediately. Mara replied with the same steady voice she had used since leaving Earth. She said Earth had no intention of fighting, had not sent the creature as a weapon, and only wanted to bring it home peacefully. She said the Empire was making a mistake by showing aggression instead of reason. Vorin shouted that humans were liars. He believed Earth was testing the Empire's strength, sending a creature to sabotage their systems. He declared humans were trying to weaken them before a larger attack. Mara tried once more to explain, but the message cut off. The Empire had closed the channel. Inside the warships, soldiers prepared for boarding. They expected the Earth crew to panic, but the Earth vessel still did not run. It drifted calmly in space, sending out no fear, no alarm. This strange calmness frustrated the Empire even more. While the standoff grew tense, far away inside the Imperial station, the space honey badger had begun exploring deeper levels. It moved through tight vents, climbed over pipes, and listened to the distant sound of machines. The creature felt something pulling at it, a faint signal, a sense of direction. It did not know what humans were doing, but part of it recognized human presence somewhere beyond the metal walls and star-filled void. It wanted to move toward them, but the Empire had learned from previous mistakes. They had set traps in the station, shock floors, magnetic fields, and heavy barricades. As soon as the creature crossed one of the main hall sensors, alarms screamed through the entire structure. Soldiers formed lines with riot shields and sonic cannons. They believed this time they were ready. The creature crawled into the hallway and paused. It saw rows of soldiers blocking its path, bright lights shining in its eyes. The sonic cannons fired. The blasts shook the walls, sending vibrations across the creature's armored skin. But instead of falling, it crouched low, bracing itself. It endured the noise, clawed the floor for traction, and launched forward with explosive force. The front line collapsed instantly. Shields cracked. Soldiers stumbled backward. The creature tore past them, leaving chaos behind. Every trap meant to catch it only slowed it for a moment. The Empire believed they had finally found a method to contain it, but the creature adapted again. It learned which attacks caused pain and which to ignore. It moved with growing confidence, almost like it was evolving with each encounter. As the battle inside the station collapsed into panic, news reached Admiral Vorin. He clenched his jaw, his patience broke. He ordered the destruction of the entire station if needed. He did not care about the cost. He wanted the creature eliminated at any price. Back on the Earth ship, Mara intercepted this command through a hacked Imperial broadcast. Her face hardened. She knew the Empire might murder hundreds of its own soldiers just to destroy something they did not understand. Humans considered such thinking insane. Mara decided Earth could no longer wait. She contacted her ship's AI and gave a silent command. The diplomatic vessel's engines activated, not for escape, but to move forward. The small ship glided straight toward the massive Imperial formation. Imperial officers panicked, thinking the Earth ship planned a suicide attack. They charged weapons and prepared to fire. But the Earth ship stopped just short of their firing range. A faint pulse drifted from its hull, a coded signal. It was not a weapon, it was not a threat. It was a message directed at only one listener, the space honey badger. Inside the distant station, the creature suddenly stopped. Its ears perked. Its eyes widened. The signal was familiar. It was a human-designed recall code used in emergencies. The creature growled softly, as if answering something only it understood. The battlefield in open space became completely silent. 3 massive Imperial warships aimed their weapons directly at the small Earth vessel, but none of them fired. Every Imperial officer inside those ships stared at their screens, confused and uncertain. Captain Mara's decision to shield the drifting escape pod had shocked them. No one had expected humans to risk their lives for a single creature. Admiral Vorin stood rigid at the center of his command bridge, fists clenched behind his back. He could not understand this behavior. To him, a creature was expendable. To him, anything not useful was disposable. But humans thought differently. They protected things, sometimes stubbornly, sometimes irrationally, and always fiercely. And Vorin was seeing that fierce loyalty for the first time. He felt anger rising inside him, but also a strange feeling he was not used to: doubt. Why would Earth protect something the Empire had labeled dangerous? Why would they face war for something he saw as insignificant? It made no sense to him, but it made perfect sense to every human on board Mara's ship. Inside the Earth vessel, Captain Mara watched the drifting escape pod slowly turn in space. The creature inside had remained still. It seemed calmer now that it sensed human presence nearby. Mara felt a mix of relief and responsibility. She knew bringing the creature home might end the Empire's fear. But only if the Empire allowed them to leave. Her crew whispered nervously, asking if the Empire would fire. Mara told them to stay calm and hold position. Humans did not retreat in moments that shaped history. Across the battlefield, Imperial officers tried to convince Admiral Vorin to fire before Earth gained any advantage. They feared their leader would appear weak. They were afraid other alien civilizations might see the Empire hesitate. But Vorin kept his eyes locked on the Earth vessel. He noticed something troubling. The Earth ship was small, yes, but it carried itself with confidence. It wasn't a desperate ship begging for mercy. It was a ship daring the Empire to cross a line. Vorin did not like how that felt. Still, he refused to appear uncertain in front of his officers. He opened a communication channel to Mara's ship and demanded she step aside. Mara responded firmly, saying again that Earth had not sent the creature as a weapon and did not wish for conflict. But if the Empire attacked the creature, humans would consider it an attack on their planet. Vorin laughed bitterly. He thought such words from a small diplomatic vessel were empty threats, but Mara did not flinch. She told him something that finally made him pause. She said Earth fights differently. Earth survives differently. Earth wins differently. Her tone was steady, but filled with meaning. And that meaning unsettled him. While both ships remained locked in a silent standoff, the creature inside the damaged escape pod began pushing against the cracked metal. It was trying to break free. The pod spun slowly as claw marks appeared inside. Mara's crew watched nervously. They knew the creature would not survive long in open space without help. Mara gave the order to launch a retrieval drone. The drone glowed blue as it left the ship, drifting toward the pod with gentle speed. But the moment it moved, the Imperial warships raised their weapons again. One Imperial commander shouted that the humans were trying something dangerous. The drone approached the pod. The Empire issued another warning. Mara ignored it. The drone latched onto the pod, extending a beam that slowly pulled the damaged container toward the Earth ship. Imperial officers panicked, shouting at Vorin to fire before the humans took the creature. Vorin felt trapped between pride and reason. His pride wanted him to show dominance. But reason whispered that the Empire had already thrown everything at the creature and failed. If humans were strong enough to create something that survived the Empire's full force, then perhaps humans were stronger than the Empire believed. Before Vorin could decide, something unexpected happened. A sudden surge of energy erupted from the escape pod as the outer shell tore apart. The space honey badger burst through the metal like it was paper. The lights of the battlefield reflected off its armored fur as it floated freely, twisting and adjusting its posture in zero gravity. Everyone watching felt a chill of fear. The creature did not attack. It simply looked around, searching for the familiar signal it sensed from the Earth ship. The Imperial warships panicked. Weapons locked onto the creature, soldiers prepared to fire, but the creature ignored them. It turned slowly toward Captain Mara's vessel, its claws spread, its eyes narrowed. It recognized home. Admiral Vorin saw this and felt something snap inside him. To him, this moment meant humans had full control over this beast. In his mind, it confirmed everything he already feared, that Earth possessed powerful secrets and was willing to unleash them. His anger overpowered his doubt. He shouted the order to fire. But before the Imperial guns could release a single blast, something happened that no one expected. The creature roared. The sound did not travel in the vacuum of space, but sensors picked up the vibration. The roar shook the comms, rattled ship panels, and even disrupted shield harmonics. The Empire's targeting systems flickered. Power circuits whined. Warning lights flared across the Imperial bridges. The creature's roar was not just a sound. It was a signal, a declaration, a force of nature. Captain Mara's crew stared in awe as their readings spiked off the charts. The honey badger's energy level increased, glowing faintly with a strange biological charge that humans had engineered but never fully understood. The creature was reacting to danger the only way it knew how, with defiance. Admiral Vorin hesitated. His officers hesitated. For the first time, the Empire saw something in the creature's eyes that shook them, not rage, not violence. But loyalty, not to them, to humans. In that moment, Voron realized something terrifying. If this creature was only a small example of Earth's capabilities, then what were humans themselves capable of? And in that moment of hesitation, the balance of the battlefield shifted. The battlefield in space felt frozen. The creature floated between the Earth ship and the Imperial warships, its armored fur glowing faintly with energy. Its roar had not been sound, but a powerful wave of instinct and warning. The Empire had never seen anything like it. Captain Mara stood at the bridge window, watching the creature drift closer to her ship, moving with surprising grace through the void. She quietly ordered her crew to open the recovery bay. The glowing creature responded immediately, turning toward the gentle blue lights coming from the Earth vessel. It moved by pushing off small fragments of the broken pod, slowly guiding itself toward the humans who had not abandoned it. Inside the Imperial flagship, Admiral Voron struggled to understand what he was seeing. Soldiers whispered around him, afraid to speak too loudly. Many of them had already formed their own opinion. The Empire could not defeat something that behaved like this creature. It was not just strong. It was fearless, adaptable, almost unstoppable, and it had chosen humans over the Empire. Voron could not accept defeat. He wanted to show the galaxy that the Empire did not bow to anyone, not even to something as small as a honey badger. He raised his hand again, preparing to order an attack before the creature reached the Earth ship. But this time, his officers did not obey immediately. A communications officer hesitated and quietly said that firing now could trigger an unknown reaction from the creature. A weapons officer warned that the Earth ship might have hidden defenses. Another whispered that humans might retaliate in ways they didn't expect. The bridge filled with fear and uncertainty. Voron felt control slipping away. Meanwhile, the creature reached the Earth vessel. The recovery bay opened, releasing a magnetic net that activated gently around the animal. Unlike the Empire's harsh traps, this one was soft, warm, and familiar. The creature climbed into the bay, settling calmly as the doors sealed behind it. For the first time since entering Imperial space, the creature felt safe. Captain Mara watched the reading stabilize and allowed herself a long breath of relief. The creature was alive, responsive, and finally back under human protection. But the danger was not over. The Empire still had its weapons aimed directly at them. Mara opened the communication channel one final time. She told Admiral Voron that the creature was no longer his concern and that Earth's mission was complete. She also told him that Earth wanted no war. But if he fired now, humanity would defend itself fully. Her voice did not carry threats, only clarity. Voron felt trapped. If he let Earth leave, the Empire would appear weak. If he attacked, he might start a war his people could not win. His pride demanded that he act. His logic demanded that he stop. He looked at the faces of his officers. They were afraid, not of the creature, of Earth. Because if this small creature was so powerful, then what would real human soldiers be like? What would Earth send if provoked? Their imagination filled with terrifying possibilities. Even Voron, a man known for his cold determination, felt doubt settling deep inside his chest. He swallowed his pride slowly. He forced his voice into something calm. He told Captain Mara that the Empire would allow her ship to leave for now. He claimed it was an act of goodwill, though both sides knew the truth. It was fear. Captain Mara thanked him and turned her ship toward the border. The engines glowed softly, pulling the vessel away from the warships. Imperial sensors tracked them, but no one attacked. No commander dared to make the first move. The Empire watched in silence as the small Earth ship carried the creature home. Inside the recovery bay, the space honey badger curled up, breathing heavily. Its armor relaxed, its energy dimmed, and the wild stress inside its eyes softened. It recognized the familiar sounds of human machines, the scent of human-made materials, and the gentle rhythm of a safe habitat. Its mission, whatever instinct drove it, felt complete. But humans watched it differently now. Scientists on Mara's ship examined the creature's scan results in awe. They saw how it had adapted to every threat, how its muscles had strengthened, how its instincts had sharpened. It had survived an entire galactic empire alone and returned stronger than before. This was not just a research creature anymore. It was proof of Earth's potential. Mara entered the recovery bay quietly. She approached the creature, knowing it trusted humans more than anything else. The creature raised its head and looked at her. She smiled softly, placing a hand on the transparent barrier. "You gave them a scare," she whispered. "But you also saved us from a war we were not ready to fight." The creature blinked slowly, as if understanding a small part of her words. As the Earth vessel left Imperial territory, messages spread quickly across the Empire. Soldiers told stories of the fearless Earth creature. Officers repeated stories of Earth's calm defiance. Civilians heard that a tiny life form from a distant world had shaken the Empire more deeply than any fleet ever had. Fear turned into curiosity. Curiosity turned into respect. The Empire had challenged Earth. Earth had answered. By the time Captain Mara's ship crossed back into neutral space, the creature finally fell asleep, curled up like a tired warrior who had fought enough battles for one lifetime. Mara stood quietly on the bridge, her crew surrounding her with relief and pride. They had come into enemy territory with no weapons raised. They had retrieved what was theirs, and they had shown the galaxy who humans truly were. Not conquerors, not monsters, but protectors. Protectors of even the smallest life they called their own. When Earth Command received Mara's report, they responded with a message she would never forget. It said humans did not seek war with the Empire. But if the Empire ever threatened Earth again, if they ever touched one of humanity's creatures, people, or worlds, the Empire would discover something far more terrifying than a space honey badger. They would discover what humans were capable of.